that she's just one of the best, most talented pitchers in the country. Sometimes she's underrated, but this entire Tennessee staff really works well together, but it starts with Kaylin Arnold.
Arnold in the circle today, facing the lineup of James Madison. Taking a look at James Madison's starting lineup, brought to you by St. Pete Clearwater. Kate Gordon up there in the leadoff spot. See the dual threats of Odyssey Alexander and Megan Good in the 3 and 4 spots as the first pitch of this ball game is a called strike to Kate Gordon. And we are underway here from the Eddie Seymour Complex in Clearwater. Kate Gordon playing in her 4th game for James Madison as the Dukes are 2-1 to start the young season. The 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. Gordon 5 for 10 thus far in those 3 games, including a home run. Knocked in a couple of runs. She's down in the count here, 0-2. Arnold deals, and it's lifted high in the air to center field, carrying back on Holcomb, still on the run on the track. It's off for glove, and diving on the track to corral it is Ayala. Already around third base is Kate Gordon. The relay home is not in time, and it's an inside the park home run for Kate Gordon.
Unbelievable. What a start to the game for Kate Gordon. I mean, we know the talent that Kate Gordon brings to the plate, but this swing, she just explodes on this pitch. It's drifting, it keeps carrying out to right center. Takes an unfortunate hop off the wall for Tennessee, but the wheels that she has to get all the way home to home in that amount of time is unbelievable. And there was no hesitation at any point. She didn't stall because she thought it was a home run. She just put on the gas.
Cambry Arnold fouls the first one off. It's 1-0 James Madison. Kate Gordon showing some power and some speed. An inside the park home run to start this ball game.
I think she's surprised Tennessee as well. I don't think the defense got the ball in as quickly or as efficiently as possible.
She got around the bases very quickly.
Unreal.
0-2 after that foul ball. By the time they were starting to throw it in from right center field there, she was already hitting third base. Kate Gordon lightning fast around the bases there, an inside the park home run, and it came on an 0-2 pitch. Arnold ahead. 0-2 on Cambry Arnold. And the pitch. Hit on the ground to second. High hop, but Leach has it. Tosses to first in time to get Arnold. And there's out number 1 here in the top of the first.
I think that's something that we talk about all the time in softball, is that how important the leadoff is in terms of setting the tone. It's their job to make sure that they make a statement from the first at bat, and that doesn't necessarily have to be a home run, but hey, that works. But it's sparking your offense. It's making sure you get a good chance to see the pitcher, to relay information back to the dugout. But I mean, she sparked that dugout up better than I've seen in a while.
First pitch off speed, drops low, and it's 1-0 on Odyssey Alexander. Yeah, that's a pretty good way to get your team fired up to start the ball game.
Especially when you're going in and playing a ranked opponent, top 10 opponent, you're the underdog. I mean, that gives you so much confidence in the first inning right off the bat.
1-0 the count. And there's a fly ball back into center field. Holcomb back to the track, and that ball is gone. Odyssey Alexander has left the yard. It's 2-0 on a pair of home runs in the first. For Alexander, her first home run of the season, her second hit of the year, leaves the yard.
Momentum is everything in this game, and Odyssey Alexander, look at this, just unloads on this pitch. I mean, beautiful hip rotation. The ball just meets that. That's a ball that you know that she can crush because it's over the plate. And for Kaylin Arnold, who's ahead in the count, you wish you had that one back.
James Madison coming off a 6-1 victory against FAU earlier today. It's funny, we talked in the pregame about how hot Tennessee's bats have been, but how about JMU here in the first?
I mean, this is a great team. You talk about Odyssey Alexander's an All-American, followed by Megan Good, who's a 3-time All-American at the plate right now. I mean, this is a good squad that JMU has.
And here is Megan Good. It will come up with her team leading 2-0. Only one out here in the top of the first inning. Megan Good 4 for 9 in her first 3 games. Arnold's first offering drops low for ball 1.
Going back to that Odyssey Alexander home run, that was a different hitter than we saw last night. She was fooled a lot by the off speed. She was hitting, swinging at pitches outside of the zone, was chasing a little bit, but she waited until Kaylin Arnold brought something in her wheelhouse and then just stroked it.
1-0 on its way. Hit foul. Deep off to the right, not a play, and it's 1-1 to Good. Megan Good last night reached base 3 times. She was 2 for 3 in that 9-1 win over Oregon. A double and 3 runs scored. The 1-1 pitch. Low and inside. 2 balls and a strike here on Good. Meanwhile, in the circle yesterday, Megan Good went the distance in that win. 6 innings of work, only allowed 1 run against the University of Oregon. Here's a chopper on the ground, up the middle and into center for a base hit. And Megan Good is aboard with a 1-out single, 3rd hit of this inning for James Madison. So Good staying hot at the plate.
Megan Good just opens up her front side on this. You can tell this James Madison is seeing something from Kaylin Arnold. They're picking up on her pitches, or they're at least having a really good decision making at the plate where they are looking for a specific pitch and they're attacking it. And Megan Good was a great example of that. Opens up that front side and just barrels it up the middle.
So James Madison is going to go ahead and make a change here. Couple of home runs in the first inning for James Madison. New pitcher coming on for Tennessee. It's 2-0. Duke's leading.
It's only the top of the first, but Kate Gordon created some fireworks for JMU with this inside the park home run. It's a ball that hits off the wall and off the glove, but the wheels rolling around the bases for Kate Gordon gives her a nice inside the park home run. That is so rare in our game, but what amazing hustle.
Kate Gordon starting her team off right inside the Parker to start the ball game. And 2 batters later, Odyssey Alexander left the yard. They make it 2-0 James Madison in the first. It's forced Kaylin Arnold out of the game in favor of Maddy Moss with a runner at first and 1 out after Megan Good's single. So the senior taking over in the circle here in the first inning.
Maddy Moss is going to come in and she has one job, and that's to keep the score the way it is right now. As a relief pitcher, it's early in this game, but you got to give your offense an opportunity to put some runs on the board, and you got to get out of this inning as quickly as possible. And she's going to have a tough challenge because the JMU team, hitting is contagious, and you can tell they feel it. They have a lot of energy in the dugout, and what they've hit really well is the hard stuff. They haven't really swung at a lot of Kaylin Arnold's off-speed pitches or her rise ball. So Maddy Moss, who throws low and hard, is going to have to make sure she hits the corners.
Here's Kirsten Roadcap, who swings through the first offering, strike 1.
And that's another perfect way to offset a team that is seeing the ball really well, is to throw that off-speed pitch, and we don't see it very often from Moss, but she's going to need it today.
Roadcap 3 for 11 in 3 games. She bats with good over at first. And 1 out. Oh, 1 from Moss. Low and inside, making a ball and a strike. Maddy Moss making her 5th appearance, 4 of which have come in relief. She's allowed only 1 run on 8 hits in 10 innings while striking out 18. We saw her yesterday pitch an inning against Minnesota in relief. 1-1. Hit foul off to the left side. Off the bleachers, and it's 1-2 on Roadcap.
Roadcap was so effective in the lineup yesterday. She got a huge hit to put JMU on the board against Oregon with a 2-out double in the gap, and that was really the hit that changed the momentum of the game. After that, all of a sudden JMU got some momentum and started putting up big runs, and that's why they ended up getting a run rule victory over a ranked opponent in Oregon as well.
It was a really close game and a pitcher's duel before that. And a cold 3rd strike over the inner part of the plate, so Roadcap cut down looking, and that's out number 2 here in the top of the 1st.
It's a beautiful pitch by Maddy Moss. The spin and the rotation on the inside corner of this plate absolutely fools Kirsten Roadcap. And that's a big out. That's a great job by Maddy Moss to come in relief and get a quick out right away.
So backwards K of Roadcap. Here's Hannah File. Good still over at first. File 4 for 8. First pitch to her is low for ball 1. File has knocked in 4 runs in her 3 games. 1-0 the count to her. Moss trying to quiet things down here in the 1st. And her pitch catches the inner part of the plate, and it's 1-1. File yesterday against Oregon, 2 for 3 with a double, knocked in a couple of runs. And the 9-1 run rule victory. Reached base 3 times as she had a walk as well last night. Takes this one inside, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
This is a really different start for JMU. We saw yesterday them make mid-game adjustments. Well, today, they didn't have to make any. I mean, they've been all over the pitching staff so far.
2-1 the count to File. Moss brings it home. And it's hit right back to Moss. She knocks it down. Throw to first in time to retire File for out number 3. But James Madison is struck first and inside the Parker and 1 that left the yard. 2-0, Dukes lead it, headed to the bottom of the 1st.
Senior Megan Good is getting another start in the circle tonight. She pitched an absolute gem against a really tough hitting Oregon offense and just was dealing. Throws a very high velocity, got them to chase, and had strikeouts after strikeouts after strikeouts to lead her team to a run rule victory.
And Megan Good in the circle today. She's got some support early on. It's 2-0 James Madison, as Good will face Tennessee, the 6th-ranked team in the country. Megan Good yesterday against Oregon, 1 run allowed, struck out 8, allowed just 4 hits across 6 innings of work in her first appearance since 2017. Aubrey Leach to lead it off for Tennessee, and the first pitch from Good is in there for a called strike 1. Taking a look at the Tennessee lineup. Starting lineup brought to you by St. Pete Clearwater. Leach leading things off here. 1 strike pitch, she shows Bunt and takes outside. It's 1-1. And Leach hitting .636 through her first 7 games. She was a preseason All-SET selection. Check swing, and they'll appeal it. And yes, she went, says Vince Price. He's a third base umpire.
An illegal pitch called on Megan Good. The umpire's going to talk to her about what she's doing. And it looks like it's a pre-pitch routine problem that she's having. And typically that's pretty easy to fix.
You know, it's interesting. We saw it a couple of times last night, but not against Megan Good. It was against the opposing reliever for the University of Oregon. Kaylee Kruger had it called on her a couple of times.
I'm not sure if that's necessarily in the pitch form or if that's something that happens even prior to our replay. There's so many things with pitching, right? There's a certain amount of time you can stand on the rubber now. There's a certain amount of time. There's a certain amount of times you can hit your hand in your glove before you pitch. You have to have the ball showing for a certain amount of time and then in your glove before you throw. There's a lot of rules that are in place that it could have been. But I think it's going to be one that she's going to easily fix, and we most likely won't see it very many times today.
Pitch spins away, and the count is full now to Aubrey Leach.
What you are going to see from Megan Good, though, she's got a really, really huge change of speed. She's going to hit her rise ball, fastball at around 70 to 72 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden she's got an off-speed pitch that's going to drop almost 15 miles an hour, which is a really tough transition.
Leach fights it off, so still a full count as Aubrey Leach is battling Megan Good here at the bottom of the first inning. It's going to be at least a 7-pitch at bat. She fouls one off to the left, and it's still 3-2. Leach to be followed by Jenna Holcomb and Amanda Ayala as Tennessee looks to strike back here in the bottom of the first inning. 8th pitch of the at-bat is slapped on the ground is short. Jubas has it. Quick throw to first is in time. Alexander with a nice stretch down there at first, and Leach is retired for out number 1.
That's a big victory for Megan Good in the circle against Aubrey Leach because she's such a tough out. It's a nice play by Jubas to get the speedy Leach out. But that's a nice battle by Aubrey Leach to start. And she's going to go back to the dugout and she's going to make sure she tells her teammates what's going on, what pitches she saw. And I mean, seeing 8 pitches in itself is a huge win.
Here's Jenna Holcomb, who hits this one on the ground is short. Jubas on to first. And a quick out, just what Megan Good needed after an 8-pitch battle. So 2 up, 2 down. Jubas has handled both of them. That'll bring up Amanda Ayala, the right fielder. Ayala with a big 3-run home run yesterday against Minnesota that came in the 3rd inning. She takes one away for ball 1. Ayala's got a couple of home runs in her first 7 games. 1 for 3, that 3-run home run yesterday against Minnesota. 1-0. A little bit high. It's 2 balls and no strikes. And the 2-0 is fouled back into the screen to make it 2-1.
It's going to be a tough challenge for Megan Good today. This Tennessee lineup is loaded with lefties, mixing a couple of righties here and there, but they all have really a lot of athleticism in the box. They have power, they can slap, they can run. And the biggest key for Tennessee is going to be how many times can they put the ball in play. And they've already made a good start with that, with the first 2 grounding out to the shortstop at least. Because when we saw Megan Good face Oregon in the first inning, it was pretty much strikeout, pop-up, strikeout.
3-1 the count here on Ayala with 2 outs. Pitch from Good. That's taken for a called strike to push it full. Seeing Tennessee co-head coach Ralph Weekley in his 17th season as Tennessee's co-head coach, along with Karen Weekley. 3-2. Popped up foul. Back and out of play.
This is going to be another good test for the Weeklies to see who they want to sprinkle in their lineup. They have a lot of really good freshmen, but facing a pitcher like Megan Good is going to be a great opportunity to see which ones step up, which ones make adjustments, so that they can set the lineup that they want moving forward through conference play.
Quick visit to the circle from Kirsten Roadcap before action resumes here between Megan Good and Amanda Ayala. Good looking for a 1-2-3 bottom of the first. Although Tennessee has had a couple of lengthy at-bats against her. 3-2 is high for ball 4, so Ayala works the walk. First base runner of the day for Tennessee. A 2-out walk here in the bottom of the first.
It's a nice at-bat by Amanda Ayala, and that's what we've seen a little bit of a difference from yesterday. They faced Amber Pfizer from Minnesota that throws similar to Megan Good. She's got a high velocity, and she'll mix in the changeup every once in a while. But their problem was early in the game, they were swinging at the rise ball.
Chelsea Segern taking a called strike.
And Amanda Ayala's at-bat and Aubrey Leach's 8-pitch at-bat shows that they're a little bit more on it today than they were yesterday.
Ayala aboard at first. Good gets ahead of Segern. And now catches the outer part of the plate for a called strike 2. Segern 571 in 7 games. She's driven in 10. Down in the count here, 2 strikes as Good deals. And it's high and inside. Make it 1-2. Good's 20th pitch of the inning. 1-2 on its way to Segern. Swung on and belted deep down the right field line. It's hooking, but it's fair. And it's a 2-run home run off the bat of Chelsea Segern. We are tied at 2 here in the first inning.
And just like that, Tennessee's right back in it with that absolute moonshot by Chelsea Segern. And it all started with the walk by Amanda Ayala, but the adjustment here, this inside pitch, how quickly she's able to turn her hips and just rip to this ball. I mean, her hips fly open in a great way, and this ball is hit a mile down the line. I almost got to think about it for a second. He was a little bit questionable. You see that? Had his arms up. Foul a little bit, then fair.
Yeah, it certainly had the distance, no doubt about that. The only question is whether it was going to stay fair, but it was so high over the foul pole down the right field line. And it made it a little bit of a tougher call there. She certainly got all of it.
I mean, that ball was smashed. And it was hit a mile high and a mile long.
Chopper on the ground is short. Jubas has it. Throws on to first in time for out number 3. But a 2-out, 2-run home run off the bat of Chelsea Segern. And we're tied at 2 as we head to the second. Back here in beautiful Clearwater, Florida, 2-2 is our score between James Madison and Tennessee. They're just 1 inning, but we've seen some power from these 2 teams. 3 home runs already.
Yeah, and not to mention an inside-the-park home run with a shot off the wall. I mean, these teams are on it, and that's what happens when you play this tournament-style round-robin. This is, you know, James Madison's second game of the day. They've seen a lot. Tennessee, too. You're playing multiple games of the day. You're getting a ton of at-bats, and all of a sudden that ball starts to look more like a beach ball than a softball sometimes.
Here's Lindsay Meeks to lead off against Maddie Moss, and she takes the first one for a called strike. And you know, something that Lauren Laporte referenced yesterday, really bringing the offense early on, coming ready to hit.
Yeah, she said that in their first game of the season, opened up, and they just weren't ready to play. They started really slow, and then they came out pretty hot against Oregon and really hot today against Tennessee.
Here's a popper into shallow left field. Parsons backing up from short. She makes the grab, and Meeks is retired for out number 1 in the second.
I think that's an important message to your team, is making sure that you're ready to go, because everybody wants to beat you at all times. So when you show up to the field and you're not ready to play, bad things happen. There's too much parity in college softball to just try and go through the motions.
And, you know, it's really what they did in their first game today, too, because James Madison, a 6-1 win over Florida Atlantic earlier today. They put up 3 runs in the top of the first. Here's Madison Niakis. Called strike on the inner part of the plate, starts her 0-1. And here in this one, a couple of home runs in the first inning. Kate Gordon with that inside the Parker to start the ball game. And Odyssey Alexander added a solo home run to go up 2-0. But Tennessee answered that 2-run shot with 2 outs off the bat of Chelsea Segern in the bottom of the first. Swing and a foul tip. And a pitch moving away from Niakis. It's 0-2. Niakis from Chicago, Illinois, a junior. Hitting .333. She's 3 for 9 in her first 3 games. 0-2 is the count. Moss delivers, and a chopper on the ground is short. Fielded by Parsons. Throw on to first, not in time as Niakis dives in safely, beats it out for an infield single.
It's a tough play for Aubrey Leach. Sometimes you have a tendency to not be able to judge that ball right off the bat. You don't know whether to stay on your heels or to go get it, and she stays back just a little bit, has a really nice throw over there. Niakis beats it out. And I can tell you right now, if she wouldn't have dove, she probably would have beat it out anyway. It doesn't really get you there much faster.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's your take on that? Because it's kind of not controversial, but the people have strong opinions about whether diving into first does benefit you at all.
I think you get the feel that you're last reaching and you're throwing your whole body there, but at the same time, the time it takes for you to lower your body to get into a dive position to kind of slow down a little bit because you're not going to dive at full speed. I think that changes it, and when there's not a tag applied, running through the base is usually more effective.
Lexi Lomax, the batter with a runner at first. And she fouls one back into the screen to make it 1-1. Yeah, you mentioned it, the exception is kind of if it's going to be a tag play.
Yeah, because you're trying to make it as hard as possible for a fielder to tag you, get as low to the ground, as away from the throw, and that's the reason that you slide. It's also to make sure that you kind of stop momentum if you're, trying to prevent a double play, all that good stuff, but running through first is an exception to that rule. It's not effective.
1-1 pitch, swung on a miss, it's 1-2. A hit for Niakis, an infield single, the first to reach against Maddy Moss, who did not start the game. Kaylin Arnold started in the circle, but allowed 3 hits, 2 of them home runs, before exiting with 1 out in the top of the first. Moss came on, finished off the inning. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Lomax retired. Second strikeout of the game for Maddy Moss.
Early in this game, Maddy Moss is doing a really good job of mixing pitches. We saw a changeup earlier, but the rise ball is effective as well. And I feel like the James Madison hitters on Maddy Moss are a little late in their approach. So they're going to have to make an adjustment, and that's why you see so often Tennessee switch between Kaylin Arnold and Maddy Moss, is because they're so effective, because they're so different.
And here is Kate Gordon, who started this ball game with an inside the park home run. First pitch slipped out of the hand of Moss to the backstop, and down to second goes Niakis. So wild pitch there puts a runner in scoring position for James Madison.
That's a whoops. Lost that one a little bit. Just couldn't hold on to that. Held onto the grip a little too long. Snap off the correct way.
So Niakis down to second for the hot bat of Kate Gordon, who not only had that home run to start this ball game, but she had 4 hits earlier today against Florida Atlantic. Pitch to her, drops down low. 2 balls and no strikes.
It's important to mention too that James Madison not only just finished the game, but I mean, they came right to the field and played another one. And that hardly ever happens. You see it in doubleheaders, but I mean, they came right into it, kept the momentum from their previous win against FAU.
6 runs on 11 hits for James Madison in their earlier win. The 2-0 pitch. Taken for a called strike. Got it over the inner half of the plate, and it's 2-1. Moss going off speed there on that 2-0 after falling behind Gordon. Niakis out at second. 2-2 game here in the second inning. Now the 2-1. Swing and a drive left field and deep. Bats at the wall. That ball is gone. 2-run home run, Kate Gordon. James Madison here in the second.
I mean, when you're hot, you're hot.
Kate Gordon is 6 for her last 6 with 2 home runs.
I mean, that is unbelievable. She is seeing it like a beach ball. I mean, this is up in the zone. It's a little bit above her belt. But her ability to just make such strong contact, extend through this ball, and just rip it out of the park. Unbelievable.
Actually, to correct that statement, Kate Gordon is 6 for her last 6 with 3 home runs.
That's right, you got in the Parker, you know what I mean? Sometimes I forget about that one.
That's unreal. Kate Gordon is on fire, and she gives her team a 4-2 lead here in the second. What a power show early on, and this one between James Madison and Tennessee. There's a foul third base side off the bat of Cambry Arnold for strike 1.
There's going to be a point in this game, if it's able to stay tight and Tennessee keeps chipping away offensively, that they're not going to be able to pitch to Kate Gordon. I mean, with those numbers, the trouble is then if you get by Cambry Arnold, then you have Odyssey Alexander, who hit a home run as well, and then Megan Good, who's an All-American hitter.
1 strike the count here to Arnold, 0 for 1 with a ground out. Infield playing in against her as she swings and misses, and it's 0-2. Arnold a grounder to second her last time up. 2 outs, 2 runs in. And the 0-2 from Moss. Low and outside, make it a ball and 2 strikes.
Cambry Arnold's a really good slapper. She does a really nice job of getting touch on her bunt. She put down a beautiful drag bunt yesterday. Very dynamic. She's going to put the ball in play a lot. Played for the Chicago Bandits summer ball team. This is a really good organization, so she's had a ton of experience on the left side of the box.
1-2 on its way. We'll tap her foul, third base side. And the count holds at 1-2 here on Arnold.
I think that's the beauty when you really see good slappers is their attention to detail and their skill. They understand what their mission is and what their purpose is when they step in the box, and they execute really well.
Another 1-2 on its way from Maddy Moss. Tap foul at the plate. So Arnold continuing to battle.
We saw it earlier from Aubrey Leach too. Just the ability to foul pitches off as well, stay long and at bats, fight off different speeds, different locations effectively. And that's why you have hitters like this in the lineup.
So this will be the 6th pitch from Moss to Arnold. Another 1-2. And she fights it off foul. 3 straight foul balls off the bat of Arnold. So Moss will try again, still a ball and 2 strikes. Another 1-2. Tapped on the ground, a shortstop, kicks up Parsons. Quick throw to first is in time to retire Arnold and the side here in the top of the second. But Kate Gordon stays hot, a 2-run home run has given James Madison a 4-2 lead as we head to the bottom of the second. 7 Innings is the weekly softball podcast ready to chronicle the road to the Women's College World Series. The ESPN personalities covering the sport all season will shine a spotlight on the teams and players that make softball so special. 7 Innings will entertain us all the way to Oklahoma City and beyond. Listen now on the ESPN app, iTunes, or wherever you listen to podcasts to hear more from Kayla Bro.
That's right. You know, I got to join 7 Innings podcast this year. I'm the rookie on the squad, but you have Amanda Scarborough, Michelle Smith, Beth Mullins, Holly Rowe, and can't forget, give me some Jimmy.
Here's Ashley Morgan to lead off, and the first pitch is a called strike. It's 0-1.
7 Innings podcast. I mean, we're going to talk about a lot of interesting stuff that's going on in the softball world. We'll debate. We'll have Shag and Stats. It is an awesome podcast, and I'm excited to be a part of it. And it is definitely a good listen. It comes out on Wednesdays, usually. Unless there's some special occasions, you know, SEC tournament, things like that. World Series.
There's a pop-up foul ground. Gordon on the run. She makes the catch. Calling it in foul territory, and Shipman is out number 1 to start the bottom of the second. So James Madison back in the lead after Gordon's 2-run home run in the top half of this inning. Gordon has gone yard twice in this one. Once was an inside the Parker. Last time easily cleared the fence with that 2-run shot in the second. First pitch here to Haley Bearden is a called strike. So Good has the lead to work with once again. Chelsea Segern homering for Tennessee had tied it in the first. A 1 pitch. Hit it in the air, foul territory, and lands out of the reach of Lexi Lomax. It's 0-2 to Bearden. Savannah Huffstetler we're looking at instead, and a conversation between Karen Weekly and the home plate umpire Don Brown to make sure they get that changed in their scorecard, as Haley Bearden was originally listed in the 7th spot in the order as the designated player.
And it looks like we're going to see Haley Bearden come out.
So that was Huffstetler who started the at-bat, but instead now they're going to go ahead and bring out Bearden, who was originally listed in this spot.
I don't know if that's a mistake by the Weeklies and they just didn't list the lineup in the dugout the right way, or with the substitution of Maddie Moss, if that somehow affects the DP. But it looks like they're going to have an 0-2 count all the same.
So Bearden will step in, and she inherits this 0-2 count. And the pitch swung on a miss, strike 3. That's a tough way to start your at bat, already down in the count, 2 strikes. But she is out number 2.
Especially when Megan Good's throwing in the 70-mile-an-hour range.
So 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Megan Good, a couple of fairly quick outs after having to battle a little bit in the first. Grounder foul down the third base side, is strike 1.
That's something that we saw from Tennessee yesterday, facing Amber Pfizer from Minnesota. Threw with a lot of velocity, and the bottom of the lineup was the part of the lineup that had a hard time adjusting, that it took a few innings to get on time, to get their timing ready, and then to be able to fight off the off-speed pitch.
Called strike, and Good is ahead 0-2. This is Savannah Huffstetler. Oh, 2 on its way. It's outside, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. So it might have been an issue of just batting out of order, because this is the pitcher spot in the 8th spot. And we saw Huffstetler come out and I think the first 2 pitches in the 7th spot in the order before they made the correction and brought Bearden out to finish the at-bat. Fell back into the screen, keeps it 1-2.
It's unlucky for Haley Bearden, but lucky for Savannah Huffstetler, that's basically getting 2 at-bats against Megan Good today. In 1. It's a bonus.
So 1-2 the count to her here. Bit of an extended look for her against Good in this inning. 1-2 pitch. Drop at the plate, and the count squares at 2 apiece. Good looking for what would be the first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game. And the 2-2. Swung on and popped straight up. Good is calling for it in front of the circle and puts it away for out number 3. So Megan Good with a perfect bottom of the second. We'll head for the third. It's 4-2, James Madison.
Number 3, Odyssey Alexander.
Back with you here from the Edith Seymour Complex in Clearwater. It's 4-2, James Madison leading Tennessee as we head into the third inning. Maddie Moss back to work, and Odyssey Alexander will lead off against her. First one on its way is swung on and missed for strike 1. Pleased to be joined now in the booth by former Tennessee standout Madison Shipman. Great to have you with us.
Well, thanks for having me up here. Get to hang out with Kayla Bro a little
That's
bit
right.
more, too.
Reunion from last year's SEC tournament.
And you guys have a little bit of a history, I understand.
We do. I think my dad gave us a little bit of a throwback yesterday, too, all the way back to travel ball.
Yeah,
was
that's
that
right.
You that mentioned that one?
We competed against each other. I'm a year older than Madison. Obviously, I went to Alabama, and she was at Tennessee.
Kayla trying to make me look back all the way back in travel ball.
I tried. I don't think I did it very many times with success, but I feel like we had a really good rivalry back and forth.
I'd say so.
1-1 the count here to Alexander. Moss gets one on the inner part of the plate for a called strike. It's 1-2. Well, your sister Allie, of course, playing for Tennessee. Now she's behind the plate. What can you tell us about her? What's your scouting report on your younger sibling?
Well, I'm going to give you more of a personality scouting report. She is bubbly. She is outgoing. She is so funny to be around, and I know she is loving being out here in this uniform. Nice stop back there.
That's right. She's working.
She is working back there. She is just having an absolute blast, and it feels like she was ready to be a Lady Vol forever. She wanted to paint her room orange back in California. My mom drew the line there, said, no, we're going to stick to neutral colors.
2-2 on its way to Alexander. Swing and a fly ball into left field. Bats back, has room, and puts it away to retire Alexander for out number 1. Obviously, Alexander had gone yard in the first inning. This time a fly out to left.
Going back to your sister Allie, was that something that you thought about trying to get her in the orange?
Actually, you know what? I wanted to have nothing to do with her recruiting trips. I made sure that somebody else hosted her, somebody else took her around campus. I usually just hung with my parents majority of the time. But I told her she's got to go to school where she wants to be for 4 years, not just on the field, but off the field as well. You really got to love where you're at.
Here's Megan Good. As we're talking with two-time All-American Madison Shipman up here in the booth.
She's got big shoes to fill. I mean, you're one of the all-time greats at Tennessee. And I think that can be intimidating for a younger sibling, but, I mean, she plays a different position. We've been graduated for a little while, not saying, we're old or anything,
Oh,
but...
man, did you guys hear that? She called me old.
Hey, I'm older.
No, it's funny you say that, though, because if you were to talk to my sister and talk to her about going to Tennessee and having to, quote-unquote, fill my shoes, she says, you know what, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better. She says she wants to get the one thing that I never got, and that was a national championship.
Perfect.
So that is her goal all the way.
1-1 the count here on Megan Good. It was 1 for 1 with a single. And a called strike to her. Moss makes it 1-2. Madison, you also do work with the SEC Network.
I do.
As an analyst.
Yes, it's definitely a lot of fun. This weekend I got to be a bit more of a fan and just enjoy this environment here. I can't believe that it's February and we've got softball on TV at this magnitude.
1-2 here to Good. Tried to check on a pitch away on appeal. Yes, she went around, says the first base umpire Scott Thomas, and Good is down on strikes for out number 2. So third K of the day for Maddy Moss in relief.
And you've had the opportunity to watch Maddy Moss for pretty much her entire career, and I think this is something we're seeing that's new, is a little bit of an off speed that she hasn't brought to the table. I mean, what do you know about what she's done in the offseason to try and add to her arsenal?
Well, Maddy Moss is always working as hard as possible, and I love the energy that she brings out there on the mound. It fuels the entire defense.
Kirsten Roadcap, the batter.
But on top of that, when you get later and later into your career, these hitters have so much film on what you've done in the previous year, so you really got to work in that offseason to try to bring something new to the table, and that's exactly what she's doing with bringing that little bit of an off speed to get these hitters just to miss-hit enough to where she can get those outs.
She's ahead here 0-1 on Roadcap. And foul ball makes it 0-2.
And what I really love about that pitch is it's not significantly slower. It's not like your change-up speed at 40 miles an hour. It's coming in just a tad bit slower than her normal fastballs in the mid-60s, just to get these hitters timing off by a little bit. And Kayla, that makes a huge difference when it comes to getting a hit or getting out.
0-2 the count. Moss looking for a 1-2-3 inning. And she tried to check, but wins on the high offering, and Roadcap down on strikes for out number 3. A 1-2-3 inning. Madison Shipman, thank you so much for joining us up here in the booth as well as we head to the bottom of the third. On to the bottom of the third inning. It's 4-2. James Madison leading Tennessee as we welcome you back into the broadcast. And Madison Shipman, pleased to have you with us for another half inning here as you provide some great analysis on Tennessee, something you know a little bit about.
I've been around the program for a few years. I guess you could say that.
I think she knows a little bit about hitting, a little bit about playing shortstop. I think she's got a lot covered for us.
I know a lot about getting Kayla Bro out at shortstop. I had to.
It happened like twice, maybe.
A little more than twice.
Megan Good back to work. The first pitch is tapped back to the circle. Good takes it on to first. In time to retire Tiana Batson with one pitch. There's out number one here in the bottom of the third.
I think it's going to be interesting to see moving forward how this Tennessee offense adjusts. I mean, Megan Good is throwing hard. She's got high velocity. I think they got to make a decision to shorten up a little bit, make an adjustment, try and maybe sit on that rise ball early in the count.
Absolutely. I think in that first inning, they came back out after going down 2-0 and had some really, really good at-bats, starting off with Aubrey Leach here. And she set the tone, and you have your two slappers. You've got Aubrey and you've got Jenna Holcomb really set the tone for the entire lineup. Strung together, good at-bats. They might not have been hits, but it gives your other hitters confidence and led to Amanda Ayala drawing a walk, and then Chelsea Sager coming up big with that bomb over the right field wall.
I think it's really key, too, is like right after that 8-pitch at-bat, Aubrey Leach immediately goes and stands right in the front of the dugout and is telling the next three batters what she saw. And when you can go up and see 8 pitches, you're so knowledgeable and you pass that to your teammates, and then you're going to be better off. And like you said, we saw that from Ayala and then from Chelsea Sager, who just absolutely torched that ball, turned on it.
She has had a phenomenal tournament so far, and you're going up against one of the best pitchers in the country in Megan Good. She's bringing that ball in there in the low 70s.
Ground ball through the right side. A base hit for Aubrey Leach. So it's a one-out single here on the bottom of the third.
Aubrey Leach showing why she's just so consistent, stands in and hits on this pitch and just turns on it and gets her barrel there quickly, and that's going to be the biggest key moving forward is, you know, keeping your top part of the barrel really strong and make sure you're rotating hard on somebody that throws with that velocity. But she's just so talented. She can do it all. I love watching her play.
And that's what makes her such a tough out, because you never know if she's going to slap, bunt, or hit away.
Jenna Holcomb fouls the first offering from Good straight back for strike one. Jenna Holcomb at the plate 0 for 1 today. She grounded out to shortstop in the first. Tennessee looking to get something going. They're down by 2 here on the bottom of the third. And a bunt put down, fielded by the pitcher Good. Throw on to first in time. Down to second goes Leach. And she'll be there with 2 outs ahead of Amanda Ayala.
See the respect. Oh, she might be called out for being out of the box.
Being out of the box.
That lefty slapper rule.
Also, that's going to send Leach back to first. So instead of advancing the runner, that violation moves Leach right back to where she started at first base, and there are 2 outs as Amanda Ayala steps in. Now, first pitch to her rides high for ball 1.
Here's this drag bunt attempt by Jenna Holcomb. You can see that left foot is going to be out of the box, and she leaves the footprint there, and that's an easier call for the umpire. And that's something that she struggled with her entire career. Well, I should say the last 2 years.
Last 2 years, yeah, with that rule change. But that's a huge swing of momentum, too, because you go from having a runner on second base with Amanda Ayala and Chelsea Sager coming up to now Aubrey Leach is having to go back to first, and you're starting from ground zero again.
Ayala is ahead in the count here, 2-0. And now make it 3-0.
I think that shows you the respect that Tennessee has for Megan Good. They're trying to sacrifice with one out and advance Aubrey Leach to second and put her in scoring position at the least.
And Megan Good's really mixing it up today, too. When I watched her game from last night, she wasn't throwing that off-speed near as much, but today she knows she's going against this Tennessee lineup. She's got to mix in those off-speeds as well, and it's really killer when she's throwing that pitch for strikes, and she's coming in with those rise balls at 72 miles per hour. It really makes you as a hitter have to decide what you're going to hit before you even get in the box.
So a meeting at the circle here before Megan Good gets back to work. Up here in the booth with Tennessee legend and Madison Shipman, also an analyst for the SEC Network. and providing some pretty great analysis here alongside Kayla Bro, a couple of standouts back in their collegiate days.
Well, I guess you could say that we could talk softball pretty much all day long, and it doesn't get much better than this game right here.
We have talked softball all day long. There's definitely been times.
Pitch misses for ball 4, so they'll be 2 on with 2 outs. And Chelsea Sagern to put one over the wall her first time up. She's coming up here with her team down by 2.
And another really productive at bat from Amanda Ayala, just passing the bat along to Chelsea Sagern, who came up big with that home run earlier in the game.
And I think the turning point for Ayala was her home run yesterday. She had a couple bad at-bats before that, really adjusted, has been more disciplined since the game against Minnesota yesterday.
Sagern, it hits the pitcher good, but comes right to Alexander at first. So Sagern is retired for out number 3. And Madison Shipman, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
We'll head to the 4th inning, 4-2, James Madison. In the books, we've got a 4-2 ball game. James Madison leading Tennessee as we get set for the 4th inning. And we're pleased to be joined now by head coach Lauren Laporte for James Madison and coach Kate Gordon with 3 home runs today across those 2 games. What has gotten into her?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we put her in the leadoff spot, doing exactly what we needed her to do, get the momentum going for our team, and she's doing just that.
And Coach, yesterday you talked about starting quickly and having a sense of urgency early. What's been the difference today for your team as opposed to yesterday?
I mean, you know, just keeping that momentum, getting them off their rhythm a little bit is important for us to make sure that we can finish this game strong.
All right, Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was head coach Lauren Laporte. James Madison holding a 2-run advantage through the first 3 innings. 4-2 is the score, thanks in large part to Kate Gordon's performance in this one. An inside the park home run and a 2-run bomb. Not to mention Odyssey Alexander leaving the yard in the first inning as well. 3 home runs in this ball game for James Madison. They lead 4-2 as they have Hannah Filed to lead off. Lindsay Meeks, Madison Nayak is also due to bat against Maddie Moss here in the 4th inning. Maddie Moss did not start this game, but she took over in relief in the first inning. As File steps in, the first offering on its way from Moss. Taken down low for ball 1. File 0 for 1 today as she grounded out pitcher first to end the first inning. 4:44 on the young season. And the 1-0. Skims the dirt, 2 balls and no strikes. Well, Moss was able to settle down and retire the side in order in the 3rd inning after allowing that 2-run home run to Gordon in the 2nd. She has set down the last 4 she's faced, including a couple of strikeouts. She's behind File 2-0. And the pitch called strike, make it 2-1. The 2-1 offering. And there for a strike, and it's back even, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Maddie Moss is so effective when she can clip that outside corner pitch and just set up the rest of her pitches. If she can get that on the corner for a strike, which is not an appealing pitch if you're a hitter, it's just questionable. It sometimes is a strike, sometimes isn't. But if she can hit that consistently, that opens the door for her rise ball and her changeup.
Now the 2-2. Swung on and tapped foul behind the plate. She just got a piece to stay alive. So the count's still 2-2 on Hannah File. Moss had 45 pitches. As she deals another 2-2 to File. And swing and a miss, strike 3. That's 3 consecutive strikeouts for Maddie Moss. She got good and road cap down swinging to end the 3rd.
That's why this Tennessee staff and this entire Tennessee team is going to be really good this season, is their ability to play off of each other. Kaylin Arnold doesn't get the best start in this game, gets hit pretty hard, but Maddy Moss comes in and gets 3 huge strikeouts in a row. Once she gets into her rhythm, settles in a little bit, pitching really, really strong.
Here's Lindsay Meeks with one out and the base is empty. First one moves away from her for ball 1.
She's given up a home run in this game, but I think that's the senior attitude, is that, you know, you give up a home run and then you shake it off and make sure that you're better on the next hitter. And she's done exactly that. Gotten 4 outs in a row.
1-0 the count to Meeks. The offering from Moss. Swung on and fouled off the catcher Shipman. It's only 1-1 on Meeks. Tough foul ball there off the catcher for Tennessee.
And no matter gear or not, that still hurts and rattles you a little bit. Just giving her a second to make sure she's okay. That can wake you up a little bit behind the plate.
And Meeks tipped it just over the glove and off the face mask of Valley Shipman behind the plate. So I'll make sure she's all right to continue back there after taking that foul ball off her face mask. She will indeed remain in the ball game. She gets a hand from the fans here at the Eddie Seymour Complex.
I think sometimes, obviously, those are coming with a lot of velocity, but I think it scares you a little bit sometimes. I mean, obviously, you're used to it. You're a catcher, but at the same time, it pops you. I mean, that was like right in her eye. I mean, it's coming right at her face. Sometimes you got to take a deep breath and reset and get back in there.
So 1-1 count. Shipman ready to get back to it behind the plate. As Moss will bring home the break even. That swung on a miss, and it's 1-2. Maddy Moss has a chance here to notch 4 consecutive strikeouts. She's got 5 Ks in relief today. 1-2 to Lindsay Meeks. And the pitch. This is up high. Evens it up at 2 apiece.
Madison Shipman touched upon it a little bit. Maddy Moss is such a leader, not only because she's a senior and she's in the circle all the time, but her attitude is so good. She, like Maddy said, great attitude. She's smiling, she keeps it light, she keeps it loose, but she's a competitor at the end of the day.
2-2. Called third strike on the inner part of the plate. 4 straight strikeouts for Maddy Moss.
And this is where Maddy Moss thrives. She wants the ball in these pressure situations. She wants to be able to get the big K when her team needs her, and does it exactly on this pitch. This is a drop ball. This is that one that changes speeds enough to kind of hitch the batter's swing and make them second guess their decision making and take that pitch on a looking K.
So here's Madison Nayakis. 2 up, 2 down, both via the K here in the 4th. Maddy Moss. It's a swing and a miss, strike 1.
You see right there, that pitch has some really nice drop spin too, coming in at 59 miles an hour. She's gonna throw her fastball in the mid-60s. So again, that's changing planes, changing speeds, and that's something that she hasn't done as well in the earlier parts of her career, and in the senior years looking strongest because of it.
1 strike pitch, half swing, and she went around. Says Scott Thomas down the first base line. It's 0-2. Nayakis did have that infield single and scored a run in the 2nd inning. 2 strikes, Moss ahead of her. Maddy Moss has struck out 4 straight. She's got 6 Ks today. Now the 0-2. Just off the outer part of the plate. And a good take from Nayakis. So 1-2 strikes the count. Moss steals and misses down and inside, make it 2-2.
It's a really nice block behind the plate by Allie Shipman. And this is why she's in the starting position as catcher as a freshman. She's quick behind the plate. She's athletic, and she's really smart, makes good decisions, not to mention has a cannon of an arm.
2-2 the count here on Nayakis. Moss fires. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Another strikeout for Maddy Moss. She's caged 7, including 5 straight.
Maddy Moss getting into a rhythm and getting some big Ks for the Tennessee Volunteers. Karen Weekly coming up.
On to the bottom of the 4th inning, 4-2, James Madison leading Tennessee. And we're pleased to be joined on the broadcast by head coach Karen Weekly for Tennessee. And coach, what's the strategy you preach to your team facing James Madison's ace today and Megan Good?
Well, she's a very good pitcher. We have a lot of respect for her. The strategy was shorten up, see the ball down in the zone, and make contact, put the ball in play, make them play defense.
Coach Maddy Moss coming in relief. What do you like now that she's struck out the last 5 batters that she's doing in the circle?
Well, I like that we're not putting the ball over the middle of the plate anymore. These guys are really good hitters, and they get in there and they attack and they get their hacks in. So if you leave the ball anywhere middle of the plate and up in the zone, they're going to take it for a ride. So if we can do a good job of just, hitting the corners and mixing speeds, we'll stay in the game.
All right, Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's head coach Karen Weekly for Tennessee as we head to the home half of the 4th inning. Tennessee finds themselves trailing by 2. It's 4-2 James Madison. It'll be Ashley Morgan, Allie Shipman, and Haley Bearden due to bat here in the bottom of the 4th inning against Megan Good. And Good thus far through 3 innings of work. Really just that one at bat in the 1st inning. Chelsea Segern turning on a 1-2 pitch at a 2-run home run. That's one of only 2 hits allowed by Good thus far today, but it did some damage getting Tennessee on the board. Check swing at the first pitch and a foul ball off the bat of Ashley Morgan for strike 1.
I think this is the part of the lineup for Tennessee that they're looking to see who's going to make the adjustments. I mean, you have Ashley Morgan right now in the 5 spot. She's only a sophomore, and then below that you have Allie Shipman and then Savannah Huffstetler later on down the lineup that are a little bit more young and inexperienced. So how are they going to be able to adjust? How are they going to put the ball in play?
Swinging a foul straight back, making nothing in 2.
Because as far as I've seen today, the top of the lineup's done a really good job. They've had some quality at-bats. Amanda Ayala's taken a couple of walks. Aubrey Leach has gone deep into counts. So really good stuff out of them. But how can you trickle that down to the bottom of your lineup and turn the top over?
0-2. Fouled in the air and out of play.
Yeah, there's no doubt that these players are talented, but it's how quickly can I adjust? How can I change my barrel angle? How can I fix my timing a little bit to square the ball up?
0-2 drops in the dirt, rolling away from Broadcap. So it's a ball and 2 strikes now on Ashley Morgan.
I think that's tough for hitters sometimes, is to trust yourself, to trust that I'm going to be able to hit this ball if I go out of my comfort zone a little bit and fix something, wait a little longer, or attack a little bit shorter and harder. Whatever it may be, adjustments are not easy, but champions adjust, and the best players in the country are the ones that can adjust most easily to pitchers.
1-2, bounced on the ground is short, gobbled up by Jubas, and a throw to first in time to put away Morgan for out number 1. So Morgan twice today with ground outs to the shortstop. And one away to start the bottom of the fourth.
Seen some pretty good defense from Jubas at shortstop for JMU, but from the entire team in game one of this tournament against Cal, they had 3 errors. I think that was part of Coach Laporte's mentality that they didn't come ready to play. Showing a lot better here today.
First one home. This is a bit away for ball 1. And for James Madison, 6 unearned runs in the first couple of games of this season. They made those 3 errors in their first game against California. Here's a slow ground ball to third. Lomax across the diamond, a first in time, and Shipman is out number 2. So a couple of ground outs induced by Megan Good. And it'll be Haley Bearden coming up with the bases empty.
It's going to be one of the biggest challenges for JMU this season is they have a pitcher that's as dominant as Megan Good is. We saw her pitch against Oregon last night, had 7 Ks, and a lot of the outs were easy outs, pop-ups, few in foul territory.
First pitch, off speed, skims the outer part of the plate to Bearden for strike 1.
So how can you not stay on your heels throughout the entire game? Because she's going to get a lot of strikeouts, she's going to get a lot of mishits. You got to make sure that you're ready when somebody does hit it hard.
See a solid defense last night in the win against Oregon. James Madison also did not make an error earlier today against FAU in their 6-1 win. As Roadcap's going to jog to the circle here to talk with Good. And thus far, we've seen some good defense in this game as well. Megan Good inducing a lot of ground balls in this one. You see there are 8 ground outs, including 2 in this inning.
It's really clear that Tennessee came in, you heard it from Karen Lukley, with that approach to get on the top half of the ball. You know that she's going to have some upspin. So that shows that Tennessee bought into the plan, and we're trying to execute it to the best of their ability.
On the outer half, a called strike. It's 0-2.
I think the next time that they go through the lineup, it'll be the 3rd time you're going to see the potential for Tennessee to make that last little bit of adjustment where not only are they getting top half, but they're driving through the ball as opposed to rolling over or being out in front a little bit, and that's timing based. So now that you've seen Megan Good for the 3rd time, you're going to be more equipped to handle her time and speed changes.
Well, Good struck out Bearden her first time up, and she's ahead of her 0-2 here. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And a side retired in order in the bottom of the 4th. Through 4 complete, James Madison still leading Tennessee 4-2. Welcome back to the 2019 St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational presented by Wilson. We've got a pinch hitter to start the 5th inning as Victoria Figueroa will step in and face Maddy Moss. The first pitch, Moss in there for a called strike 1. So Figueroa on in place of Lexi Lomax in the 9 spot. A freshman from Springfield, Virginia. Maddy Moss has struck out the last 5 batters she has faced. And the 0-1. On the other half, strike 2. Moss has really settled in the last couple innings.
Yeah, this is the 5th inning where you're going to see James Madison, if they do make adjustments here, and you're going to have the top of the lineup coming up once again this inning. It'll be interesting to see what adjustments they make, what changes they make to their swings.
0-2 to Figueroa. Up high, she lays off, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
And I think the key is there's 2 pitches that Maddy Moss is going to throw that are going to be the toughest to hit, and that's that off-speed drop that kind of cuts in on righties, and then the rise ball, which is almost impossible to hit sometimes. So I think you got to sit on her curveball on the outside corner of the plate that she was throwing to righties, crowd the plate a little bit, and jump all over that one.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Another K for Maddy Moss. That is 6 consecutive strikeouts for the senior.
And sometimes you can go up there with a plan, but there's just no stopping a pitcher when she's in rhythm and in control. I mean, she's looking really, really strong, popping the glove. She's throwing with good velocity, pinpoint accuracy as of late. Once she gave up that home run to Kate Gordon, who we're going to see for the 3rd time today, she has really settled in and settled down.
This should be a fun matchup. Maddy Moss versus Kate Gordon. Both of them have been unstoppable. First one starts off speed and misses high. It's 1-0. How about the fact that Kate Gordon, between the 2 games today, has homered 3 times, including in her last 2 at-bats. She had an inside the Parker against Caitlin Arnold in the first, took Maddy Moss deep in the second. But Moss has struck out the last 6 batters she has faced. 1-0 the count on Gordon. And the pitch swung on and fouled into the screen. It's 1-1.
It looks like Tennessee's going to go try and attack Kate Gordon. Maddy Moss not shying away from the competition here. She's bested her once. Maddy Moss is going to do whatever she can to not let her get her again.
Ball and a strike that counts. Maddy Moss versus Kate Gordon. The break even. Swing and a high fly ball left field and deep bats back, and that ball is gone. 3 home runs in the ball game for Kate Gordon.
I didn't know we came to a home run derby today for Kate Gordon.
Unreal.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why you pitch short at this point. I mean, it's preseason, it's a good challenge, but at the same time, just get to the next batter. I mean, that ball is over the inside part of the plate, a little bit middle in, but look at the swing. I mean, talk about being on time. That was perfect timing for Kate Gordon. And again, right over the left center gap.
You won't really see much more of a dominant day at the plate than what we have seen from Kate Gordon today. Gordon earlier today against FAU was 4 for 4 with a home run and 2 RBIs. In this one, she's 3 for 3 with 3 home runs.
You know, I think what makes her so effective and why we're seeing her be so dominant today, she's really simple. Her swing is a minimalist swing. She's going to be really short in her load. She's not going to do anything fancy. And she just gets her hips and her barrel to the ball so quick.
Swing and a miss from Cambry Arnold to make it 1 ball and 1 strike. Taking a look at tonight's offensive MVP, no question about it. Brought to you by Wilson. Kate Gordon, 3 home runs and 4 RBIs in this one.
I think that's well-deserved.
As Arnold bunts through it, and it's 1-2.
I mean, that may be good enough for offensive MVP of the entire tournament, let alone just this game.
Yeah, what she's done in this game and in this day alone, it might just be enough for that. It's been absolutely incredible to watch, and especially considering how good Maddy Moss has been in her last couple of innings, how untouchable she had been before that. Here's a soft ground ball to short, Leach onto first, just in time to get Cambry Arnold for out number 2. Maddy Moss had struck out the last 6 batters she'd faced, had not allowed a base runner since Kate Gordon went deep against her in the 2nd inning. She retired 8 straight, including again 6 consecutive strikeouts, but then Kate Gordon went yard again to make it 5-2. 4 of those RBIs belonging to Gordon, who has 3 home runs in this ball game. Here's Odyssey Alexander, who has the other home run for James Madison. She takes down and inside for ball 1.
If you look at the pitches that Kate Gordon's hit out of the park today, they're definitely in her wheelhouse. It's not like she was hitting something above her eyes or in the dirt or low. She was hitting balls about belt high that were just working east and west. And I think that says something about her cuts and where she's seeing the ball. Because that's half the battle, right, is understanding what pitches that you're looking for, buying into your plan, believing in yourself enough to, once you see it, and go attack it. She's done that 3 times today cleanly.
And the inside the park home run in the 1st inning just missed clearing the fence out there to the right of center field. Got around the bases lightning quick. Started the ball game with that inside the Parker. She then hit a 2-run home run in the 2nd, a solo shot here in the 5th. Alexander takes low, and it's 2 balls and a strike. And she's done it against a couple different pitchers, rather. Arnold, Caitlin Arnold, that is, started the ball game. And the last 2 home runs came against Moss. 2 balls and a strike to count on Alexander's 1 for 2 today. The pitch, grounded foul third base side to make it 2-2.
It's a big home run for Kate Gordon, obviously because it's just adding on to her stats for the day, but also because, again, when you have somebody like Megan Good in the circle, insurance runs are really important. You want to make her feel comfortable, make sure that she can throw freely and not under stress, especially after she sat out all of last year. You don't know where her endurance is at moving later into these innings, so as many insurance runs, the better.
There's a high fly ball center field. Holcomb back on the track, makes the catch to her left to retire Alexander and end at the top of the 5th. But Kate Gordon is absolutely on fire. Her 3rd home run of the day makes it 5-2. James Madison headed to the bottom of the 5th. To the bottom of the 5th inning, James Madison leading Tennessee 5-2. Looking for the upset today against the 6th-ranked team in the country. Megan Good with 2 runs allowed on only 2 hits, couple of walks in 4 innings of work thus far. Beneficiary of 5 runs up on the board, including 3 home runs from Kate Gordon this afternoon. Megan Good will face Savannah Huffstetler, Tiana Batts, and then the top of the order, Aubrey Leach, here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tennessee, a team that's brought some thunder early on this season. And there are 2 runs on the board today, thanks to a 2-run shot by Chelsea Segern in the 1st. First pitch misses into Savannah Huffstetler for ball 1. Huffstetler 0 for 1 today. She popped out to the pitcher Good in the 2nd inning. It's a foul ball. Back behind the plate to make it 1 apiece. Good, coming off a 1-2-3 frame in the 4th inning. Got a couple of ground outs and then struck out Haley Bearden to end the inning. She's gotten Bearden twice today. 1-1, pop foul back and out of play. So it's a ball and 2 strikes.
In my opinion, the biggest mistake that Megan Goods made today was the walk before the home run. You know, you get 2 outs, you get really tough outs in Aubrey Leach and Jenna Holcomb in the 1st inning, the bottom of the 1st. And then you get up and you face Amanda Ayala and you give up a walk. And that just breathes a little bit of life into Tennessee. And then eventually, even if Chelsea Segern does end up hitting a home run, you'd rather have it be a 1-run home run than a 2. As good as she is, and as good as this James Madison offense is, 1 run isn't going to kill you in a game.
Swing and a miss at the high offering. Down on strikes goes Huffstetler. That's out number 1 in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, but 1 solo home run, a couple solo home runs aren't going to hurt you. But that's a nice rise ball on that pitch. It's got a ton of movement, and that just absolutely fools Huffstetler.
Going to see a pinch hitter here as Tiana Batts is due, but that's Madison Piscini, who has emerged from the Lady Falls dugout. You know, Megan Good at 61 pitches now as she works in the 5th. Tennessee really worked her early on. We saw some deep at-bats in the 1st inning, and in fact, 21 of the 61 pitches that Good has thrown today came in that 1st inning. Kayla referenced the walk that Amanda Ayala was able to draw, setting up that Chelsea Segern 2-out, 2-run home run. Ayala had worked Good for 7 pitches in that plate appearance before working the base on balls.
Yeah, I think it's the bottom half of the lineup for Tennessee that's going to need to make some improvements. 5 through 9 today. 4 ground outs, 3 strikeouts, and a pop-up.
Madison Piscini pinch hitting here in place of Tiana Batts as she rolls one on the ground to short. Bobbled by Jubas. Gets the throw off to first, but not in time. So Piscini is aboard on the E6. Talked about the defense earlier for James Madison. They've been really good their last couple of games after struggling in their first game.
Obviously, errors are going to happen in this game, but it's about how the entire team and especially the pitchers are going to respond to them. You know, I mean, you can't do anything about it now. It's moving on, and it's about picking up your teammates at that point. Hey, it's all right. I got you. And this is going to be a tough at-bat right here, facing the best hitter in the Vols lineup, Aubrey Leach. This is where you're going to see just two gutsy performances between one of the best pitchers in the country against one of the best hitters in the country.
And Leach has one of the 2 hits against Megan Good today. She singled against Good in the 3rd. Won the count after the foul ball. Tiana Batts, by the way, has re-entered the game as the pinch runner at first for Piscini. This one off the outer part of the plate, and it's 1-1. Aubrey Leach 1 for 2 today, and an 8-pitch at bat against Good in the bottom of the 1st inning before Good got her to ground out to shortstop. Singled through the right side in the 3rd inning. 1-2 now on Leach.
Yeah, Leach is choosing to stand in and hit, and I like that mentality early in the count. If somebody that has high velocity, you're just going to shorten up and try and get the top half. It's hard to get effective slapping against a rise ball, and it's really hard to be an effective slapper on a changeup.
Leach led the SEC in hitting last year. Takes up high, 2-2. Tennessee down by 3. They've got a runner at first with 1 out. The 2-2. High, and the count is full.
Aubrey Leach doesn't even look fazed by that high pitch. Learn from her last check swing. Have discipline on that pitch. And now that she's seen it quite a few times in this game, she's going to have to really zone in on the lower half of the plate.
3-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. So Good wins the battle, gets the strikeout of Leach. And that's out number 2. Four Ks in the game for Good.
It's the biggest strikeout of the night right there for Megan Good. And that's a tough out, and I'll tell you right now, Aubrey Leach does not strike out very often.
Here's Jenna Holcomb. And she takes the first offering away for ball 1. Holcomb 0 for 2 today, a ground out to short, and was called out for stepping out of the box in the 3rd inning. 1-0 the count to her. She's got Tiana Batts over at first. Pitch misses a bit away, 2-0. So Holcomb, who'd been aggressive her first couple of at-bats, seeing only 3 pitches total in those 2 plate appearances. Now ahead in the count here, 2-0. With the tying run on deck in the form of Amanda Ayala. Here's a flare into shallow left. It falls in front of the dive of Gordon. And it's a base hit for Holcomb, and the tying run will come to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th.
It's a nice job by Jenna Holcomb, just battling in that bat, trying to make sure she gets contact. And the defense shifts the way they do on that lefty slapper. The ability to hit that little blooper into the gap shrinks. It was a good effort by Kate Gordon out in left field to try and make a diving play, but just finds a way to find the grass.
So this could be a turning point in the game here. There are 2 outs, keep that in mind, but the time runs at the plate. Amanda Ayala has had a couple of good plate appearances against Good today. She's walked twice, and Ayala has a couple home runs this season, batting .438 coming in. She swings and foul tips the first one into the mid of road cap for strike 1.
We saw Amanda Ayala be the game changer when they were down against Minnesota yesterday in their game 1. It was her hit, her home run that changed the entire game and helped Tennessee walk away with the W.
When strike the count, 2 on, 2 out. And a foul ball, it's 0-2. So Good after falling behind Jenna Holcomb 2-0. And Holcomb coming away with a single. Good comes out attacking Ayala, gets ahead 0-2. The 0-2 pitch drops away. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Ayala.
Ooh, that was a good take. It's a tough pitch. Kind of makes your knees buckle a little bit on that one.
Change speeds, moved it away from the lefty, and Ayala able to lay off. The 1-2. Fouled back into the screen, still a ball and 2 strikes. As Ayala's walk in the first inning that set up the Chelsea Segrin home run. Ayala has walked twice today. Down the count here, it's 1-2. James Madison fans getting behind Megan Good. The 1-2. Fouled off to the left and into the bleachers. So Ayala battling, still a ball and 2 strikes. Another 1-2. Called third strike on the outer part of the plate. Megan Good with the backwards K, strands of pair to end the 5th inning. And we'll head to the 6th. 5-2, James Madison leading Tennessee. Welcome back to the 2019 St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational presented by Wilson. Taking a look at the game summary thus far, James Madison leading Tennessee 5-2. Behind Megan Good's solid start in the circle, and Kate Gordon 3 for 3, 3 home runs, 4 RBIs today. Maddy Moss, a strong outing in relief thus far, 3 runs, 4 2/3 innings, 8 strikeouts, although a couple of those home runs from Kate Gordon have really made the difference in this one. Megan Good will start it off here in the 6th inning, as Good just referenced her work in the circle today. She's held Tennessee to just 2 runs in 5 innings. At the plate, she's 1 for 2. Maddy Moss back out there in relief for Tennessee as the first pitch is a bit inside to Good for ball 1. Maddy Moss at times has been dominant in relief today, but Kate Gordon's gotten her twice, a couple of home runs against Moss in the 2nd and 5th innings, but otherwise nobody's reached against Moss since the 2nd. 1-0. Called strike on the outer part of the plate to Good, and it's 1-1.
To be honest, I don't think, no matter how good Maddy Moss was throwing, I don't think there was any stopping Kate Gordon today. I mean, sometimes you can see ball hit ball, and there's something special about that, and you gotta take advantage when those days come.
And what a day it's been. The leadoff batter for James Madison. Called strike on Good, makes it 1-2. We won't necessarily see her again in this game, although there is a chance if somebody gets on, we could see Gordon in the 7th. Kate Gordon 4 for 4 earlier today against FAU. She's 3 for 3, 3 home runs in this one. Here's a high fly ball right center field. Holcomb back to the warning track. She gets to the wall, and that ball is gone. Megan Good has left the yard. 6-2 James Madison here in the 6th.
That home run from Megan Good just kept carrying. It was an outside pitch. She looked like she might have mishit it a little bit, but the wind's blowing out in right field, and the ball just went with it. This is a nice shot. This is that curveball that she's trying to throw. But Megan Good does a really great job of just throwing her hand in that last little wrist snap to get the whip on the ball that lets it have that final little to get it out of the park is the difference in that swing. And she doesn't even swing all the way through. I think that's what shows you the power and athleticism of Megan Good.
For Good, her 2nd home run of the season. How about James Madison with 5 home runs in this ball game? They're looking for the upset at Tennessee, and they're leading 6-2. Kirsten Roadcap, the batter. And she fouls the first one off. It's 0-1. Roadcap has struck out twice today against Maddy Moss. Moss got her looking in the 1st and swinging in the 3rd. 1 strike is the count. And a flare on the infield. Played on a hop at second off Stedler. On to first in time. And road cap is out number 1 here in the top of the 6th.
It's a nice job by Huffstetler staying down on that ball. It's a tough one. It's got a lot of spin on it. And I think that's something that this Tennessee team, talking about their defense, is going to have to try and figure out between Huffstetler. We see Parsons every once in a while. And Aubrey Leach, that little rotation between second, shortstop, and shortstop, trying to replace Megan Gregg.
Here's Hannah File. Takes the first one away for ball 1.
Replacing Megan Gregg, who is an absolute staple for this program at shortstop.
Now, Aubrey Leach at shortstop right now, but before this tournament, she'd only appeared there a couple times in her career. We've seen her there off and on the last couple of days and throughout this ball game. There's a called strike to move it to 1-1 against Hannah File.
And I like Aubrey Leach at shortstop. I think she's a good senior leader that understands she's been playing second base for her entire career. I think she has the athleticism to play that position, but I think it's a huge difference. The ball comes off the bat so differently on the right side compared to the left. A lot of different spin. You have different vision, different jobs to do, and obviously it's a lot longer throw. It's a little bit more taxing on the arm.
2-1 the count here on File. One down and a run home in this inning on the good solo shot. 2-1, fly ball right field. Ayala has room backing up, brings it in, and File is out number 2. So 2 gone, and Lindsay Meeks will step to the plate.
Next to the plate, number 24, Lindsay Meeks.
Well, Moss was really dealing through the 3rd and 4th innings, but she's been hurt by the long ball in her relief appearance today. As Megan Good started in this inning with a solo home run, the 3rd home run against Maddie Moss. And the pitch is taken for a called strike by Meeks. It's 0-1. And the 5th home run of the ball game for James Madison. Duke's leading 6-2. Moss trying to get out of the inning here in the top of the 6th. 1 strike, she's ahead of Meeks. The pitch comes inside, and it's 1 apiece. Kaylin Arnold started this game, allowed a couple of runs in a 1/3 of an inning before Moss came on. And it's been Moss in the circle since. The 1-1. Swung on and missed to make it 1-2. Meeks today 0 for 2 with a pop out to shortstop and a strikeout. She's making her 2nd start of the season. James Madison's 4th game. They're 2-1 coming in. The number 25 ranked team in the nation. They're leading the number 6 team, Tennessee. Late in this one. And a called 3rd strike on the inner part of the plate, so Meeks is down looking. A lot of Ks for Maddie Moss today in relief. She's got 9. But Megan Good with a solo blast to start the 6th inning.
Megan Good just takes this ball and gives a little bit of a whip on the end of her bat to get this out and give her a little bit more run support for her pitching.
Let's take a look at tonight's defensive MVP, brought to you by Wilson. Shortstop Sarah Jubas with 4 assists on the infield. And a start for James Madison, who leads this one at 6-2. As we get set for the bottom of the 6th inning.
Sarah Jubas getting a lot of action today, making some really good plays. That's exactly what you want for support of your All-American pitchers, to make the easy plays, limit her pitches thrown. Because I can tell you right now, looking at how good Megan Good has been throwing this season and this tournament so far, teams are not going to score a lot of runs on her if her defense plays strong behind her.
Pitch to Segrin low and outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. And Megan Good has induced quite a few ground ball outs today. Important for her to have a lot of confidence in the defense behind her. Foul ball makes it 1-2 here to Segern. Segern homered in the first inning, accounting for the 2 runs on the board for Tennessee. 1-2 the count to her here. Good deals, and this is upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
This James Madison team is showing a lot this weekend. I think they're well-rounded. They play good defense. After game 1, that is. Playing good defense, solid in the circle. They have a lot of options. They have good depth in their battery.
2-2. Tried to check, and she went, says Vince Price. So Segern down on strikes, and out number 1 in the bottom of the 6th.
Jamie has rounded out with some huge power numbers that we've seen today. I mean, their lineup is stacked with kids that can hit it out of the park. I think also some hitters that have good average, that will have good average throughout the season. And they don't play an easy schedule. They understand that they're probably not going to get the best competition they're going to face in conference play, so they got to go out and play tournaments like this, go up against top 10 ranked opponents like Tennessee, and show what they're all about.
Ashley Morgan following the first one off for strike 1. She's up for 2, couple of ground outs to the shortstop Jewis today.
James Madison's going to play Arizona, Michigan, Arizona State, Virginia Tech, Duke, all out of conference. Try and get their RPI up, get them ready for the postseason. They've been to regionals the last 6 years, so you know that that's the goal again this year, to get to super regionals and potentially get to the World Series.
The 25th ranked team in the nation. They were a unanimous pick to finish first in the Colonial Athletic Association again this year. After they finished first a season ago, they went 19-2 in conference play in 2018. This one misses low and away to Morgan, and it's 1-1.
That's going to be the challenge for them moving forward, is making sure that they use the preseason to boost them into conference play, and they don't use conference play to stay lax. Because there's going to be some games where they are going to dominate, and that's okay. But how can you continue to get a little bit better? How can you push yourselves? How can you challenge each other at practice and keep that competitive spirit up beyond just your games on the weekend?
Now this would be a pretty impressive win for them, taking on the 6th ranked team in the country. Oregon won the count now to Morgan. And James Madison with a 4-run lead here in the last of the 6th inning. We've got 5 more outs to get, but a pretty good place to be if you're James Madison right now. And with Megan Good in the circle, the 3-1. It's a bit high for ball 4. That is the 3rd walk issued today by Good. Morgan takes her base. She'll be at first with 1 away for Allie Shipman. Tennessee is a tough lineup. Shipman today, though, 0 for 2. The bottom part of the order has been held hitless against Megan Good, who's only permitted 3 hits today. So here's Shipman, first pitch. In there for strike 1. Shipman, a fly out to Gordon in foul territory in the 2nd. A ground out to 3rd in the 4th as she skies this one to center field. Arnold tracking it to her left, makes the grab. And back to first goes Morgan. There are 2 gone.
It's the best piece of contact we've seen from Allie Shipman today. But again, that little late break and movement from Megan Good is what makes that a fly ball to center rather than a home run. And again, freshmen are going to have to adjust to that and over-adjust a little bit rather than trying to meet it, trying to swing a little bit more over the top of it.
Haley Bearden looks at one low and away for ball 1.
And that's the biggest difference between the college game and playing in high school and playing in travel ball, is that, half an inch of more movement.
1-0 1-0 the count. Good struck out Bearden twice today and gets a swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Although to be fair, Bearden inherited an 0-2 count in the second. Good only threw one pitch to her and struck her out. We got her to go down swinging in the fourth. Making good with 6 Ks today. The 1-1. Misses away, 2 balls and a strike. Good trying to work around a 1-out walk. Tennessee was able to bring the tying run to the plate in the 5th inning before Good struck out Ayala looking to end that frame. The 2-1. Swung on a miss, 2-2. But now after the solo home run by Good in the top half of this inning, James Madison sitting on a 4-run advantage. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Bearden. The pitch rides high and the count is full.
Making Good still touching 70 on day 2 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Trying to keep that endurance up, that power up throughout the entire game.
Their 96th pitch, the 3-2, low and outside, ball 4. So the second walk of this inning puts him at first and second. Savannah Huffstetler is due.
This is what we saw last night against Oregon in the first game of the year for Megan Good. Was late in the inning, 6th inning, 7th inning especially. She gave up the, in the 6th inning, gave up the 1 run to Oregon. But it started with a walk. It started with getting lengthier at-bats, throwing more pitches, and then you get tired. And I mean, she faced a knee injury that sat her out all last season. So she's got to figure out a way to quickly get back to pitching shape. And there's really no exchange for that other than playing in games. This is why tournaments like this are really awesome. You're going to play back-to-back days, potentially multiple games a day.
And this is James Madison's second game of the day here at the Eddie Seymour Complex as the first pitch missed there to Savannah Huffstetler. Good didn't pitch earlier today, but she was in the lineup. Tapper back to the hill, Good fields it, and throws to first to get Huffstetler for out number 3. So a couple walks in the inning, but 2 left. Stranded, headed for the 7th is 6-2, James Madison. Yeah. 6-2, James Madison leads as we head into the top of the 7th inning. Here at the Eddie Seymour Complex, James Madison looking for the upset of Tennessee. The 7 Innings Podcast, a weekly softball podcast. Be sure to check that out on Twitter and on Instagram. You can follow at 7 Innings Podcast as well. And listen now on the ESPN app, iTunes, or wherever you listen to podcasts. 6-2 ball game. Maddy Moss back to the circle. And it's Madison Nayakis to lead off here in the 7th. And the first one on its way from Moss is outside for ball 1. Nayakis 1 for 2 today with an infield single and a run scored in the 2nd inning. One of the rare singles we've seen in this ball game. We've seen a lot of power, particularly from the James Madison lineup. 3 home runs by Kate Gordon, who is due up 3rd in this inning. Foul ball back into the screen makes it 1-1.
It's a pretty good day for your offense when you have more home runs than base hits. I mean, 5 home runs is good on a weekend. 5 in a game, that's just, you're really appreciative of that day as a coach, as a player, and you just got to take advantage and ride that momentum out as long as you can.
Only been 2 singles in this game by the Dukes, but they've hit 5 home runs. One of them an inside to Parker. The pitch is inside to Nayakis. It's 2-1.
I go back to the very first inning with Kate Gordon's first home run of the day. It was an in-the-park home run. I think that there's something really special about hitting an out-of-the-park home run on your first at-bat, but to show the energy and the hustle and just the gutsiness to get an in-the-parker and hustle around the bases is huge.
2-1. Hard ground ball past the dive Huffstetler and into right center. It's a single for Madison Nayakis. So she's got 2 hits this evening. 2 for 3, a couple of singles now out of the 8 spot.
It's a nice job by Nayakis just to find a way to hit that outside pitch and battle. I mean, that's the same thing that Megan Good did, right? It's just finding a way to get contact and extend through the barrel as long as you possibly can and stay on that ball that has a little bit of a drop on the outside corner against Maddie Moss.
So a runner at first for James Madison to start the 7th. Here's Lexi Lomax back in the 9 spot after we saw Victoria Figueroa hit there in the 5th inning. Bunt put down, cut off by the third baseman Segard, onto first in time. Now to second goes Nayakis.
Look who's looming on at the plate now. It's Kate Gordon. I mean, what a phenomenal day. This is the Inda Parker. Again, the hustle to get all the way around the bases. She's just been lights out, taking that pitch belt high, and then gets one more a little bit on the inside corner of the plate and absolutely turns on it. She is dangerous today. And again, free base open. I'm thinking about walking her right now.
So here is Kate Gordon, runner at second. And the first pitch is a called strike. So Moss still attacking her. Kate Gordon, 3 home runs today. The first James Madison hitter to ever hit 3 home runs in a game. 1 strike the count to her. The pitch from Moss. It's taken for a called strike, and Moss is ahead 0-2. 4 home runs in a game is the NCAA Division I record. It's been done 5 times. Kate Gordon has a chance to tie that. She's already set her school's record, 3 home runs in this one. Keep in mind, she's hit 4 home runs today, as she had one against FAU earlier. 0-2. Down low, she lays off.
I like Kate Gordon up there. She's just smiling at this point. There's something, and there was a ball that was close on the last pitch that the umpire called a strike, and I think she's laughing a little bit.
Kate Gordon
enjoying it.
7 for her last 7 with 4 home runs. 3 of them in this game. The 1-2. Chopper on the ground to second. Fielded cleanly, Huffstetler on to first. And Tennessee finally finds a way to retire Kate Gordon.
Smiles in the dugout because you can't get it every single time. 4 home runs. It's pretty rare, like you said, 5 times only before. But what a good day. And even though she didn't hit another one out of the park or an inside the park home run, I think that's a good out. I think you move the runner at best. And I think that's smart hitting. Keeping it simple, trying to inside out it. And it was a tough at bat for Maddie Moss. She finally clipped the outside corner against Kate Gordon, which is what she was missing earlier.
Yeah, it's still a productive at bat, though, advancing the runner. So now you've got a runner at third and 2 outs, looking for some extra insurance. Scorber foul, third base side, strike 1 on Cambry Arnold.
I think that's especially important to move the runner 60 feet when you have somebody like Cambry Arnold up. That's typically a slapper that's going to move a little bit in the box when she hits. So she's not a typical power hitter. So the chances of scoring, especially when the outfield's playing in, which they are, is so much better when a runner's on third than at second.
1 strike the count. Arnold's grounded out 3 times today. She looks at one away, and it's 1-1.
You can see the outfield. They have a hard shift left and in on Cambry Arnold. Should have been a hard chance for somebody to score from second on a ground ball at the middle or a ground ball in the 5-6 hole.
1-1 pitch. Chopped to third. Segern on to first in time to retire the side in the top of the 7th inning. So a leadoff single that they leave a runner at third. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. James Madison looking to finish off the upset. They lead Tennessee 6-2. On to the bottom of the 7th inning. James Madison leading 6-2, making good back out there after she has allowed just 2 runs on 3 hits across 6 innings. She's working on 98 pitches and trying to finish off the complete game.
Been really impressive to watch Megan Good in her 2 games that we've seen her pitch this weekend. First against Oregon, again, who was one of the hottest hitting teams in the country at the time before they faced her. She held them to 1 run, and then again today against Tennessee really has 1 blemish on her record for the day, and that's the walk and the home run.
Now that 2-run home run by Chelsea Sagern with 2 outs in the first inning. All the offense against Megan Good today. She's back out to start the 7th. Tiana Batts takes one high for ball 1.
Hey, it's a sign. That's what's up next. That's going to be a good matchup, by the way. Florida State is looking really, really strong.
That'll be the 7:30 games. The pitch is low and outside, 2 balls and no strikes. And we've got another one here as well. It'll be Cal and Notre Dame coming up tonight. (2-0). That's a called strike. It's 2-1.
It's always interesting. You never know how a team is going to do after the year that they win a national championship. You have so many distractions. You get players that leave. They have a huge loss in Kylie Hansen in the circle that they have to fill. But the performances that they have given this week at the tournament, I mean, they just look dominant. The way that they're swinging the bats right now, some of their hitters that are just coming through so strong. You know, you lose Jessie Warren, but then you have hitters like Anna Shellnut that just come and show out. Callie Harrod has been on fire. Carson Gordon had a few home runs this weekend.
2-2 from Good. Popped up into foul ground. It's Gordon who makes the catch. And there's out number 1 here on the bottom of the 7th. James Madison 2 outs away from upsetting Tennessee. So they're trying to take down the 6th-ranked team in the country. And Kayla, how big of a win would this be for James Madison? And does it affect Tennessee moving forward?
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's more important that Tennessee wins this game than Tennessee losing it. I think the biggest thing in softball that's so important when it comes down to the postseason is, you know, you looking at the numbers, looking at your RPI, your strength of schedule, the competition that you played and how they do. And James Madison needs wins over top-ranked teams like this. Tennessee, on the other hand, is going to play in the SEC this season, and they're going to face top 10, top 15, top 25 opponents weekend after weekend. So their RPI is going to stay pretty steady. So this loss, if the score does hold, I don't think it'll affect them as much. James Madison will get a bump from this, and this will be important and a win that they can circle on their schedule at the end of the year when the NCAA tournament's picking who's going where and who's hosting and not hosting. This is something that the committee is going to come back to and look at.
Megan Good looking for the final 2 outs to finish off a complete game win. Her team up by 4. It's 1-2 on Aubrey Leach, who's got 1 hit against Good today. Tapper foul third base side. One of only 3 hits surrendered by Good. Leach singled against her in the 3rd. A 1-2 count. And just off the inner part of the plate, crowd wanted it on the JMU side, but instead it's 2-2.
This is a good pitch right on the inside corner. And I think that's on the chalk. I think that's a good take by Aubrey Leach. And I think that's a good miss by Megan Good. I think that's a tough pitch to slap.
Foul ball. And this is another lengthy battle by Aubrey Leach.
Yeah, and I like how she's going to her slap. I think rather than hitting away, I think when she slaps, and this is true for a lot of slappers, is you get into a little bit of a rhythm. Your timing's different because of your footwork. And I think it just lets you adapt to different speeds and locations a little bit more effectively.
Another foul ball, so she's going to see at least 8 pitches in this at-bat.
There she goes to standing in and hitting away. And that's the challenge of being a triple threat, is maybe doing one thing, one pitch, and then moving on and adjusting right away on the next.
Another 2-2 coming. Good take there, pitch a little bit outside, and it's full. Leach worked an 8-pitch at-bat in the first inning. Saw 4 in the 3rd, 6 in the 5th, And this will be the 9th pitch of this face-off. 3-2 the count. The payoff. Fouled off. And we'll do it again.
You can feel the emotion in the crowd. You can feel the energy and how important this at-bat is for James Madison.
Pitch number 10 is high, ball 4. Great battle by Leach, and she draws the walk.
Another tough at-bat by Aubrey Leach in that ball. You just want it to be a little bit closer to the zone to try and bait Aubrey Leach. When it's above your head, a hitter that disciplined is not going to swing at it. You need it to be about chest level with 2 strikes to get somebody like Aubrey Leach to be baited into swinging at it.
So here's Jenna Holcomb. She'll come up with Leach over there at first and 1 away. Tennessee trying to stay alive here as a ground ball to the left side, scooped up by Lomax to her left. Close play at first, but it's in time. And Holcomb is out, number 2. James Madison 1 out away from upsetting Tennessee.
This is a really nice job by Lomax to have that reaction right away to cut across and go get this and not let the shortstop get it. And you can see she was playing off the line, trying to cover that 5-6 hole because that's where Jenna Holcomb's tried to pound the entire game, and they're ready for it.
Here's Amanda Ayala. Tennessee down to its last out, and a line drive, a short cut by Jubas. And James Madison upsets Tennessee. 6-2 is your final.
Sarah Jubas, the defensive player of the game. What a snag.
A great reaction there on a hard hit ball off the bat of Ayala, but Jubas a leaping grab to end the ball game. Megan Good goes the distance as James Madison wins it 6-2. Once again, our final. The number 25 ranked James Madison upsets Tennessee 6-2. Coming up next here at the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational, number 24 Notre Dame versus California at 7, and number 2 FSU versus Minnesota at 7:30. Both live on the ESPN app.